I came across this book by Oscar Wilde, and it's called The Soul of Man Under Socialism. I got a little curious, so I decided to read it. I'm still reading it. I just got a little curious, like what was going on in Oscar Wilde's brain about it, and I thought I would try to understand it and see what he had to say, even if I didn't agree with all of his points, which I feel like I need to add in because it seems like there is a portion of people who think that engaging with concepts means that you agree with everything, which isn't true. I got curious because this was written in 1891. He's giving a perspective on a form of libertarian socialism, it seems like, but he doesn't support like authoritarianism, so it seems like it's a libertarian form of it. He gets a little anarchist at some parts. So no, I don't agree with all of his points, but I thought it was interesting to just see what he had to say. I found some of his points still kind of interesting. For example, he actually believes that this form of socialism leads to more individualism, but it's also interesting to see like the way that he wrote things. Oscar Wilde talks about how owning private property is actually a bore, and that if property had simply pleasures, we could stand it, but its duties make it unbearable. In the interest of the rich, we must get rid of it. And then he talks about virtues of the poor, and he criticizes charity. He talks about the poor being ungrateful because charity is inadequate or sentimental. He asks why should they be grateful for the crumbs that fall from the rich man's table? They should be seated at the board and are beginning to know it. And he also talks about discontent and disobedience in man's virtue. He continues to talk about how the poor are praised for being thrifty, but he says that to recommend thrift to the poor is both grotesque and insulting. It's like advising a man who is starving to eat less. He says that man should not be ready to show that he can live like a badly fed animal. He should decline to live like that. And now this part is for all of you folks that have stigmatized poor people. Oscar Wilde talks about poor people being ungrateful, unthrifty, discontented, and rebellious, and how they actually probably have a real personality, but the virtuous poor can be pitied, but not admired. He says that the virtuous poor have made private terms with the enemy and sold their birthright for very bad pottage. He also says that they must also be extraordinarily stupid. He says that he can understand man accepting laws that protect private property if they benefit from it and live some form of beautiful life. But he says it's incredible to him how anyone else tolerates it. Anyways, I just thought that was kind of fun to read and something to think about.